going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the manga. And for anime only fans, this is the time of the month where a lot of the content that you guys see on the channel is going to be spoiler heavy. However, with all that being said though, if you're still here, I'm assuming that you guys are caught up with the manga and you don't care about me talking about manga spoilers. So I think right now we need to have a conversation about the purpose of Boruto's time skip training, which, as we know from what Ikimoto said back in December of 2020, the time skip is approaching and should happen at some point during 2021 of this year. And now that the stage has seemingly been set, Sasuke has had his Rinnegan stabbed out by Momoshiki. Naruto has lost the power of the Kyuubi. Code is revealed to have a white karma seal, and Code has now activated Ida, who is supposedly somebody who has knowledge of everything, but more importantly, Ida is also strong enough that she's stated to be stronger than actual Jigen. And so now that we have all these different things that are at play right here, I think that there's one line that was in the Boruto manga chapter that's not being discussed enough amongst the fandom, which is Kawaki tells Boruto, like, yo, you're 80% Otsutsuki, I'm 80% Otsutsuki. There's no reason why you and I should not be able to use the ninjutsu and powers and abilities of those Otsutsuki who gave us the karma seal. And that's something I've been saying for about 3 years now. I'm like, hey, that will make a lot of sense if Boruto starts learning Momoshiki's abilities. And I think it's a two-way street at this point. Just as Momoshiki was able to gain intel and hold on to some of the knowledge that he acquired from Boruto, as well as have access to some of Boruto's skills and abilities, I think it's a two-way street. I think Boruto also, once Boruto figures out how to master karma and he works with Kawaki during the time skip, I think you're gonna have a situation where Boruto is going to start using some of Momoshiki's abilities. We've already seen it to a certain extent with the Karma Seal's ability to absorb ninjutsu and shoot it out, but I think that Boruto is going to be able to do that. And then I also think that because Momoshiki also has a Rinnegan and has been shown using stuff like Almighty Push, I think there's a possibility that Boruto can start using watered down Rinnegan abilities that Momoshiki had. So I think that is something you can kind of see there. And I also think that because Momoshiki was able to use those black chakra receivers, because Momoshiki was able to create weapons out of pure chakra, I think that's something you can see Boruto start to add to his arsenal. That is something that makes Boruto a very deadly individual if Boruto is able to start doing some stuff like that. And I think that if he starts making a concerted effort to start mastering the abilities that Momoshiki has, I think that also sets up the possibility that everything we've seen with the Karma Seal with Boruto's firing back attacks, I think that once he masters Momoshiki's powers, the level of damage that he's able to shoot those attacks back at is going to be several times stronger right there. And that makes a lot of sense given the fact that Boruto's body has progressed to that level right there. Now, another thing I also think is that if you go this route, narratively, it's something to where now if you start the process of Boruto inevitably getting stronger than his father and surpassing his father, this is one of those things to where if you add in Boruto at say 90% Otsutsuki DNA and he has mastery over that Karma Seal, he has mastery over Momoshiki's powers, and you add that with Boruto's own genius prodigy level skills, I think that is something to where they're gonna make Boruto extremely formidable. Now that might piss off a lot of fans who watch Naruto struggle very hard to master the various jutsu, and one of the critiques of Boruto so far is that Boruto has learned things very quickly. I think that if they go this route, the best way you can actually do it is just as we saw Boruto in the anime struggle to create two brand new Rasengan's, the first one being that wind release Rasengan, where unlike Naruto's that he used when he and Yamato showed up to save Kakashi from Kakuzu, Boruto's had this spiraling green ring around it, and then you had the compression Rasengan. I think something like this, if you see Boruto start the process of attempting to master those abilities, heading into the time skip, and then once we return from the time skip, it's revealed that Boruto had to train for a few years in order to master that power. I think that because of how much work he put into it, I think people would be okay with it at that point, because we're not talking about peak Naruto. We're talking about Naruto who has lost the power of the Kyuubi. I think that is something that could work for Boruto Uzumaki as a character. Now, I would take this a step further. I would say that because he has access to Momoshiki's abilities and theoretically his power, if we take what Kawaki says to be true, in theory, because Boruto already is a Hyuga clan member, because he's part Hyuga, Boruto in theory should be able to tap into Momoshiki's Byakugan, which means that Boruto, somebody who already knows part of the gentle fist fighting style, this gives Boruto the opportunity to actually train with the members of the Hyuga clan like Hiyashi or Hinata, Hanabi, which we know from the Naruto Parent and Child Day novel that Hanabi did want to actually start training Boruto regardless as to whether or not he had a Byakugan or not. She wanted to start training Boruto more so in the Hyuga clan's discipline. I think that Boruto adding stuff like that to his arsenal is something that could once again start the process of making Boruto actually surpass his father. I think that whatever route they go for making Boruto get to the point where he's able to fight off code and take on these people that Naruto and Sasuke are inevitably not going to be able to take on, whatever route they take in order to get to that point, it's one of those things where there needs to be a justifiable journey, and I think all the tools are set there, and it's going to be so tragic for Boruto as a character. The power that he's mastering is just making him a more perfect vessel for Momoshiki when Momoshiki eventually takes over his body, unless they're able to find an answer to delay the extraction of the Karma Seal. That's going to be something very interesting right there, to actually see whether or not they go this route with Boruto. However, I want to know from you guys, how do you guys feel about this? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.